Grab your measuring sticks, Wargamers, because today we're playing a full game of A Song of Blades and Heroes, a fantasy skirmish rule set by Andrea Sviligoy. In today's fight, I'll show you the terrain in a second, but first I wanted to introduce you to our rosters. On the left side, wearing white and blue, we've got our Elvish forces. They are responding to an armed incursion into their territory by the nasty little Greenskins. And the Elven King has dispatched an Elven hero with a leadership of 2, quality of 2, combat of 5. He is accompanied by 2 light cavalry, who you will remember are mounted. They have a quality of 2 and a combat of 3. They can move through woods as though they were clear terrain. And to round things out, he's got a couple of spearmen and a couple of archers. The archers can shoot a long distance. Heading into the Elvish territory is the Orc hero. Is he a hero? No, I take it back. He's the war chief. He is a leader. He is tough. He has a leadership of 3. Everybody else has a quality of 4. He has a quality of 3. He is accompanied by his bodyguard, Archer, who only shoots medium. Not quite so good as the elf, is he? And a big bruising bodyguard, a hill troll, who has a quality of 4. He has a combat skill of 4. And he is tough, and he is fearless, and he is big. We'll get to what all that means once we start playing. He also has 6 goblin grunts who are going to be helping him along the way. As a leader, one of the things we're going to add, one of the fun wrinkles is, as a leader, he can use an action to command these guys to move as a group. So here you see our terrain. We've got broken ground that slows you down. We've got woods that slow you down. They block line of sight. The hedges do not block line of sight, but anybody attempting to move over them has their movement reduced from medium to short. Likewise, if any part of your movement passes through here, if you try to climb up to the top of the hill, when you're moving through the woods, all medium movement goes to short. These guys block line of sight. And these could be considered a defensive obstacle, which will give you a +1 when you are fighting, which is different, remember, from giving your opponent a -1. To figure out where the goblins come on, the goblins are the attackers in this scenario. They won the last time, but we're going to randomize which side of the table they come on. And to do that, since this is the long side, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, so our goblins are going to come in from here. Elves are going to come in from the other side. So there's our hill troll, Ugly Fred, complete with the, is that wattle daub tattoos, just like all good dirty warriors have. Our elves are going to come in on this side. We'll bring our hero up the middle with our hero shooter. I should point out that our elven hero is also a shooter. He can use a you know what, they're going to try to, since they're outnumbered, they're going to try to take that hill right away. He can use one of his actions to fire at ranged combat. And when you do fire at ranged combat, the deal is that you roll off as normal, but your opponent, he can't hurt you. So it's very defensive. And we're going to roll off to see who gets to take the next turn. Goblins get a 3, elves get a 5. That means the elves are going to start by activating. Now they all have a quality of 2. So we'll start with our hero. We want to get him mixed in as soon as possible. He gets 2 movement, so his first move is going to be to the hill. So I don't think he has enough movement to climb. So that medium would put him at the top of the hill, but he just can't make it because he gets reduced to short when he hits that line. And that short, so what we'll do is we'll put 2 short, and we're going to move him right to here and make those goblins come to him. Then we'll start with this archer, who's going to do the same, 2, and he gets 2 successes. I think what we'll do with him is move a medium to here, and then climb up to, basically, I guess he can go anywhere kind of within right there. So we'll stop him again at the top of the hill. And archer number 3 gets 2 successes. So he'll move, we'll just keep it simple, stupid. We'll move a medium, and then we'll drop that short, and we'll bring him over to here. So that's about all we can do. Now, when you're on the hill, you can move around. I mean, look, the hill is less than medium anyway, if you're on short. So basically, as long as you move one time, you can move without penalty there. Now we're going to bring these boys up one at a time, and it's going to be 2d6 for the one nearest the camera. He gets 1 success, and that means he can move up to here. His buddy is going to roll the same 1 success, and I guess they're just going to do a little do-si-do. Now we got 2 spearmen who are going to try to plug the gap. We get 1 success for the gentleman on the distance, and we get, hey, 2 successes for his friend. So we move him up to the medium, and we can move him up to, I think we'll go ahead and stop right there. Bit of a waste, but that's okay. At least we're playing it safe. And I think that's it. So, old Big Fred the Hill Troll is going to start us off. He's got an activation of 4, and we just want to get 1 success, which we do. So we'll lumber him on forward. And then we really want to make sure that that archer doesn't get involved in a shooting match here. We're going to try to bring him up a little bit as well. 2 successes is fantastic because it means we can put him 1 there, and then we're going to put him kind of right in the middle of this. No, you know what? We need to bring him up a little more. Since we're going, we're going to leave him just inside. Try and discourage these guys from pursuing him. Now it's time for our leader. And our leader is going to first issue an order. Now, the way leadership works, well, let's see how many activations he has, first of all. He has no activations. You've got a +3. Oh, nerds. One thing I should mention is anybody within a long actually has a +1 to their quality if you're within a long movement of your leader, and you've got line of sight, which nobody does. Play kicks over. I guess we'll show you on the next turn, huh? Play kicks over. We're going to start by trying to move these guys into a little better position. We're going to roll 2 dice for him and get 1 success. So if we assume that that's short, like I said, you can move pretty much anywhere around. He's going to come over this way a little more, and then we'll try to move him up a little more as well. We only get 1 success, but that puts him there. So we're going to roll 2 dice for him. He gets 2 successes, which we're only going to use 1. He's going to move up to, well, let's see how far medium is. We're gonna stop him right there. Same thing with that guy. We just want 1 success so we can bring him up to there, and now we're on to our cavalry. He's a little exposed. Dare we try to hammer him right away, or should we try to go for this guy? Well, let's see how many activations we get. On a 2+, we get 3 activations. So we will move medium. We will move short, and that brings us up to here with 1 die left over for an attack. Remember that our wonderful gcmini.com orange die is going to be for the defender, since the white dice are for activation. Our mounted guy has a quality of 3, and the archer has a quality of 3. He gets a +1 to his die roll, and I think that's it. That's it for now. So, with a 7 and a 6, he's knocked down. That is one tough archer. I'm impressed. But he's not out of the woods yet. He's not out of the broken grounds yet either, because this guy is going to try to get some revenge. He only gets 2 movement, and that first one will take him to here, and that second one will take him to... He doesn't have the movement to make it to that guy. He's a little too far away, but he'll go ahead and move into the broken ground anyway. Maybe he can intimidate him. Play kicks over. That's everybody on this side. He could go, but he doesn't want to. Doesn't he? Does he? Yeah, I think he does. He's going to take 3 actions. He needs to get stuck in. He's got 2 actions worth, so it's going to be a short to get to the bottom of the hill. And then it's going to be... That's all. He needs to come down the hill. So now we're back onto the goblins, and the goblins have an issue because we'll start... They gotta get these guys up. Numbers are in their favor, but not if they're too chicken to move into play. So our leader is going to roll first, and he gets 2 successes. He's going to use one of those successes to move up to here. No, he wants to challenge that hero, so he's going to move to here. He's going to use that other success to order these 3 guys, hey, get moving, you dopes. Because they're within a long, their quality improves from a 4 to a 3, and they're going to get 3 potential actions. They actually get 2 actions, so we'll just move them up with medium. That's their first action. And because they're pretty chicken, we're not going to waste that second action. We're going to move them up. At this point, he has seen that the elves are content to let the goblins come to them. And that's it for those guys. Our big Fred down here gets to go. He's going to roll 2 dice. He is at a plus. He's at a 3+. And he gets 2 actions, so he's not going to waste any time. He's going to lumber on over here to provide some support. There's 1, and there's 2. To the archer. Hey, where you going, Goofus? Hey, where you going, Goofus? You're my bodyguard. You going to leave me alone to deal with these guys? He does not have enough actions to do anything yet, but it forces him to attack. At any rate, we've got 1 goblin here who's going to move, 1 goblin here who's going to move, and 1 more goblin who is too far away to get the +1 bonus. He's going to sit back and say, go get him, guys. I believe in you. That's the joy of Wargaming, Goblin. You can do it, guys. And the only thing we have left to do is this guy's attack. He's going to go ahead and roll all 3 dice, seeing if he can get 2 bonuses. Hey, look at that. He is within a long movement, so this becomes automatically 1 success, which means he's got 2 successes. He can do a power blow. He's already a +2. He's now at -1, so we've got a +2 to the die roll and a +5 to the die roll. That becomes an 11. That becomes a 8. So he has won. And with an even, that turns this into a fall. I went ahead and lowered the camera down to a more bird's eye view. Because this cavalryman lost a combat by a fall result when he was already fallen, he shuffles off his immortal coil. And that is the end of the goblin turn. Time for the elves to try to get some kind of payback. And the hero boy is not happy. We're actually going to start with the archers up here. And I'm going to roll 2 dice for this first one. And with 2 successes, he can take an aim shot against this guy. An aim shot gives his opponent a -1 to hit. So we're at add 3 for the archer, and that goblin is going to add 1 to his die roll. The goblin gets a 5, he gets a 5, it's a tie, so nothing happens. Our second archer is going to try to follow suit. He rolls twice and gets 2 successes. So it'll be the same thing. It'll be 5 to the white die and a 1 to the orange die. So we got a 4 and a 7. With a success of an odd, it forces this guy 1 base length back, which puts him out of the group. You know, I got that backwards. It forces him 1 back and puts him out of the group. With the archers done, the hero is going to wade into battle. And he's got, we're going to try 2 attacks for him. So with 2 successes, that is all he needs to move up to medium and start laying waste. That hero has got a combat of 5. That goblin has a combat of 2. And we get a 3 and a 9, which is a tripling. So not only is this goblin dead, but that tripling triggers a morale check for everyone within a long move. So all of his allies, which amounts to these 3 guys, have to take a morale test. Fortunately, they are within a long move of their leaders, so they have a quality of 3 instead of 2. And what's going to happen is for every failure they roll, which is going to be nothing for him, and for this guy, he rolls 1 failure. He has to make a medium move running away. So the charge of old Glorfin Fearless over here has put 1 down and put 1 on his heels. I'm going to turn him around so you can see that he's running away. That brings us to our spearmen, who are no longer concerned. So we'll, you know what, let's start with this guy. We want to get 2 successes. So we're going to go ahead and roll 3 dice. And we get our 2 successes. So he's at a +1, and he needs that because he is fighting at an extreme disadvantage. Our big boy's got a combat of 4. He's only got a combat of 3. With the mighty blow, they're both at 4s. And the elf rolls a 10. Hill troll rolls a 9, which means he falls over. Now remember, he is tough. So wounds work a little bit different to him. We'll get to that if he actually takes a wound. In the meantime, we've got 2 spearmen that need to move up to support that hero. The spearman on the right is going to make 2 actions, and hero, get out of the way. That's going to be 2 medium moves. Oh, you know what? He can actually reach this guy and attack him, and that is exactly what he's going to do. The elf is at a +3, the warrior is at a +2, and those are the only modifiers that apply. So we got an 8 and a 5. He retreats 1 to there. And then our last of the fearless elf spearman goes for 3 successes. He gets 2. He's going to move 1, and then a short move to contact this bowman to prevent him from helping out his friend over here. That's it for the elves. So we move on to the next turn, where Mr. Orc Leader has got his work cut out for him. He's going to start off the action by... First, we're going to try to stand him up and make an attack with him. He is in... You'd think I could remember this. He is still within 1 long move, so his quality becomes a 3. And with 2 attempts, he only gets 1. So, at least he gets to stand up. It's not much, but it's something. The next thing we want to do is we're going to try to bring... Remember old Joy of Wargaming, the goblin down there? He's going to go ahead... Oh, thank goodness. He's going to go ahead and show a little bit of spine, and he's going to move up to here. Then we'll try to bring this guy back into the action by rolling 1 die, and he is going to do that. He's going to move up to contact that spearman. We want 2 successes with this guy. And we got it. 2 successes means that he can move to contact the spearman and attack him. And that spearman is going to fight at a -1. That spearman is going to fight at a +2. It's going to be an even Stevens attack, which is the best he can hope for. The spearman doubles up. No, he does not. 6 + 2 is 8. That's a 5. All he does is bounce back. And we still have a little bit to go. Mr. Orc Chieftain is going to roll 3 dice. He gets 2 successes. He'll use the first one to order this group. Now remember, he already moved, so he's going to order this group to... we want to take out that hero. They're going to move up to here. And then he's going to use his second move to try to keep himself as center situated as possible. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Time for the elves. And for the elves, we're going to roll for 2 successes here and get 2 successes. So that is an aimed shot at this old boy down here. He is at +4. He is at +2. That's a 9 and an 8, and he backs off just a little bit more. Likewise, we're going to roll for 2 successes, and we get it. I tell you, that 2+ quality is phenomenal, but he doesn't do any good. He fires. Oh, that might actually be out of range too. No, it's in range, right on the edge, but it doesn't do any good because you've got a 5 versus a 6. That's it for the shooters. We're gonna roll 3 dice for our leader. I'm liking our chances of not rolling. Oh, come on. What is that, huh? Right on the edge. That's why you got to use Xochi dice. I tell you, brother. I have some, but what are you going to do? All right, so we got 3 successes. He can move up to here for his first and conduct a mighty blow. So he is fighting at... Well, that power blow is -1 to the opponent. That's important. So he's only getting a +1. He's getting a +5. And we get a 7 and a 9, which knocks him over. You know, he also has a -1 because of that. So that becomes a 6. Not that it makes any difference. All they do is knock him over. But Mr. Spearman has a shot as well, and he only rolls 1 success. So it's going to be a regular attack. It's going to be +3 now because he's fallen down. So he gets a +2. He's at +5. He's only at +1. Wouldn't be a 2, but he's fallen. So it's +5 and +1. 11, 3. That is not just a kill. That is a gruesome kill. So, what does that mean? It means everybody within long, and that's going to be these 3 guys. Have to make a morale check. And we're going to start here. His morale is going to be... Remember, they're at +1 because of the boss man. He makes all 3, nothing happens. His buddy makes 2 of them. He runs away back to the edge. Now, if he had failed all 3, he would have run completely off the table, and that would have been all she wrote. The chieftain himself rolls 2 failures, and that means... he's going to retreat 1 and 2, and it puts him right on the edge. He just barely managed to keep his nerve. And I think, oh, good news. Mr. Joy of Wargaming is going to stick around. That's not the end of the turn, though, because we still have a spearman here who's going to fight. It's an even battle, +3, +3. 8 versus 6. He is going to retreat back to there. Cavalry versus Hill Giant is going to be +3, +4. He gets a 5. He gets a 5. No effect. And we're on to the goblins now. So the first thing we have to do is bring our leader up into the fray. We're going to roll twice. he only gets one success. So he turns around and says, I can't leave my boys. And he's going to run up to there. And at least he can stiffen their spine. So we'll roll for this goblin to move into position and fail. And we'll do the same for him. And he decides, you know what, I'm sorry guys, I cannot abandon you. I'm going to come this way. These guys we're going to save to the end. They need 2 successes to do anything. He only needs 1, but he gets 2, so he can take an aimed shot at this elf. That means we're at +3 and +2. So 7 versus 8, he does succeed and pushes him out of the woods. Our big boy now, this is the one we want. We're going to try for 2 successes, and we're not going to get any. 2 failures means the goblin's turn is over. That's all they can do. So the action kicks back over to our elfy boys, and we've got 2 elves up on the hill over here. All they want to do is climb down, and the first one manages 1 success, so he's going to come to the base of the hill. The second one manages 1 success. He is also going to come to the base of the hill and get stuck in. This spearman, I take it back. This spearman goes next, and he's going to try and reach him, which is going to require 2 successes. He gets his first. And we'll just double check. Yeah, that's a short move. So he gets to move up and he gets to attack. That is a 3-on-3. And he loses, which means he gets pushed back again. Just trying to stay out of the shooting range of that guy. And it's just not working. Probably would have been better off moving up to this guy. But what's done is done. Our hero has had just about enough of this. He's going to come after this guy. He rolls 3 successes, and he's going to, you know what? I take it back. He's going to charge up on this guy. He still has 2 rolls left, so that's going to be a mighty blow. We are looking at a +5 versus a +1. And we get a 10 and a 4, which is a killing blow. A doubling is enough. And that is the 3rd of the orc forces to go down. 3 out of 9 means 2 more is going to be an issue. This spearman is going to book it on over there, and he rolls 2 successes, so not only does he make it, but he can take a swipe at him. It's going to be a +2 versus a +3. So we get a bear success, and on evens, he fought down, go boom. Which leaves that cavalryman the last to go. With 1 success, all he can do is fight. And remember, he's at a disadvantage. He's at a 3 versus a 4. So that even means he falls down. And that's going to be a problem for him, because it is Mr. Troll's turn. Everybody, nope, he is not. The rest of these guys are in range. We're going to try to stand this goblin up to start things off, and he manages to do so. Then we're going to take advantage of this fallen dude. And actually, the first thing I'm going to do is try to activate him just once. And that's going to bring him over to contact. So now, in addition to the troll being at a +2, which gives him a +6, he is at a -1. So that's only a +2. 8 versus 3 is a doubling, but not a gruesome kill. So no morale checks required. That is the first of the elves. No, that's the second of the elves. Second out of 2, 4, 6, 7. So until they lose 2 more, they're also have no need for a morale check. Who's next? Who's next? He's gone. He's gone. So our leader man is going to run up to... You know, first things first. Let's go ahead and try to bring him over to this spearman. That's going to be a single move, And with a 3, he doesn't make it. He's going to move up. And with a 4, he does make it. So we'll bring him up to just shy of the hero. Oh man, we could have used that second one. And now he's going to try for 2 successes. He has a +1. He just needs 3s, and he manages. So we're going to bring him up. You know, we're going to go ahead and try to dogpile him. The War Chief goes last, and he rolls 3 successes. So not only can he move, oh, you know, he's just shy. So he's got to use 2 of them to get to the hero, and then he uses that 3rd to attack. So our combat is a 5 and a 4. His goes down to a 4 because he's double teamed. And that's all there is to it. It's a straight 4 versus 4. Our defender wins handily with a 9 versus a 5. That is not a doubling on an odd result. Our orky boy has to back up a step. And I think that's it. Until the elves take their turn. We've got an elf archer who's going to start the show. Come on, this is what I get for zooming in too close. He manages 2 successes. And he is close enough to engage and fight. And that's going to be a 3 versus a 2. For a 4 and a 6, hey, back up, buddy. No problem. This other elf is going to do the same thing. He's going to repeat the process, and he is close enough to engage. That's going to be a 2 and a 3, just as before. 8 versus 3 is a doubling, and you need to hit the bricks. Tough archers, man. What were they wasting time shooting all those arrows for? We have, we're going to bring him to contact this guy. And what the heck, I'm going to roll all 3 dice, see what happens. We get 3 successes, which means not only can he move up to contact, he's got that mighty blow action, which makes this a 3 versus a 1. So we've got a 7 versus a 3. And he's got to back up. No, he falls down. And the hero is going to turn his attention that away. He's going to roll 2 and get 2 successes for a mighty blow. So he's now fighting at a +7. This goblin is fighting at a 1. So 2 versus 11 is a gruesome kill. Time for morale checks. First for him, he is at a +1 because of the war boss, so he manages all 3. The war boss manages to only fail once, and that means he's got to scamper on back to there, and we'll turn him to face the screen. Let me out of here. Such a brave boy. And the last of our guys to go is going to be this spearman, who rolls but a single success. 1 success is all he needs to fight this archer. Unfortunately, that archer has got a skill of 3, so it's an even roll, 3 versus 3. The defender wins, and with an even result, he falls over. So things are not looking good over on that flank, but it doesn't matter because our Orc War Chief is down to, let me see, 4 dudes. You know what? He actually needs to make a morale check. They're down to less than half. So that means the dead outnumber the living, and they all have to make a morale check. So we're going to start with him, and he passes all 3. Then he has to go, and he passes all 3. Wow, now they're brave. Now he's going to roll, and he passes all 3. And now for the War Chief, who fails just 1. And once again, he's going to run back to near the edge of the table. All right, so, you know, that worked out pretty well for them. When the chips were down, they managed to pull it off. So this becomes essentially a fight to the death for the goblins. They'll stick it out. Got to start with the war chief. 3 activations for him, and that's going to be 2 successes, which will bring him right back up into the thick of it. And this time he'll move there, and he'll move there, and that at least gives his little goblin buddy there a -1. So he's fighting at +2, +4, 3, 7, and an odd result is a little bit of a pushback. So now we've finally got our mano a mano. Hero versus war chief. But we're not done. Our big boy is going to lumber on over with 2 successes. He's going to move up. He is at a +2. He's fighting at a 6. This fallen boy is fighting at a 2. Three, 8. That's a kill. And the elves do not have to make a morale check yet, because they've only lost 3 of their starting 7. So that brings us back to the elves, who outnumber their opponents. Let's see if they can bring those numbers to bear. We're going to do just that, and we're going to start with the most obvious. We're going to bring him up with 2 successes. He can close with, he's going to come straight in though, doesn't he? He can close with the war chief, and the war chief is outnumbered now, which means he is going to fight at a 3 to the hero's 5. No. To the spearman's 3. So 3 versus 3. The spearman gets the drop, and with an odd number forces a retreat. Now that's actually going to be a problem. Should have won with an even roll, bro. This elf is going to try to make 2 moves. We just got to bring him up into combat. He actually, wow, look at that. He's close enough. He can actually run up and take a swipe at this goblin. We'll bring him up just a little bit wide, and that's going to be a 3 versus a 2. 3 attacking 2, 4 versus, he backs off 2. His buddy is going to go ahead and make all 3 shots. That's going to be 3 successes. So 2 of those are going to allow him to close, and the 3rd is going to allow him to attack. We are at attacking 3, defending 2. The attacker wins, and with an odd, he pushes back a retreat. So that's it. We slide around here, and we're going to go ahead and, since things are ratcheting up, we're going to zoom right on in on our combat. Maybe I'll even edit that slide out later. But I think it's all going to come down into this little area. The war chief is within, everybody is within a long move of that war chief. So we'll start with Mr. Archer guy here. We'll roll a 3 and a 1. It brings us 1 happy success, so he can come up to support. He can move to contact this elf. Wait, no he can't. No he can't, because he is in slow going. That 1 success allows him to just clear. Then we're going to bring this guy up, and I'm going to go ahead and roll all 3. We're looking for 3s, and we get 2 successes. So that first success will get him out of the broken ground. That second success will allow him to just run right up and contact that archer there. And we're going to have attacking 4, defending 3. 8 versus 9, he loses. And not only that, but with an odd result, he gets knocked on his butt. He'd be in big trouble if it wasn't the war boss's turn. And the war boss is gonna, oh my gosh, way to go. He's gonna roll 3 big successes, which allows him to contact the hero. We're back to the old mano-y-mano. The hero is reduced to a 4+. Our war chief is at a 4+. We're rolling evens, and the war chief loses and gets pushed back just a little bit. And he can order this guy to move up and attack. Man, it's really tight over there, isn't it? He's gonna try to move into that guy. He gets 3 successes, which allows him a mighty blow. So we're gonna be at 2+2, and these lower 2+2, you are far more likely to see some kind of a doubling. As I said, 3, 6, doubled. The defender wins, and it's all for naught. That's all she wrote. And we're done with the goblin turn. The elves are not going to waste any time. They're actually going to gang up on that boy that's on the ground. This elf is going to have 1 success to move up to contact. This elf is going to have 1 success to move up to contact, and that lets this war chief, now he's fighting at a -3, and Mr. War Chief ain't messing around. He's going to roll 3. We're going to re-roll that. He's only going to get 1 success, so he doesn't get the mighty blow, but he does get a +2 because he's attacking somebody on the ground. The troll is only fighting at a 1. He is at a -3 because he's surrounded. The troll rolls and adds 1. Our champion rolls and adds 7. So the orange is 1. So with a 6 and with an 8, he manages to... Now what happens when you win a combat against a guy on the ground? So he takes 1 wound. Now what that means for him, thanks to that big roll, is his quality is actually going to go up to 5. So he'll only be able to activate on a 5+. Once his quality hits 7, that's when he's finally removed from the game. But he's not done yet. He still has to face this spearman. And if this spearman, who's going to, actually, it's the last guy to go, he rolls 3 dice. He gets 2 successes, which is all he needs. So now he's fighting at a 3, 2, 1, 0. He's fighting at a +5. So the white die gets +5, the defender gets nothing, and we've got a 10 and a 3. So it's a triple blow. That falls down to mere killing blow, not a gruesome kill. But it's not looking good for the Goblin King, who is really up against it now. He's going to... What are we going to do here, War Chief? It's down to just the 2 of you. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start with his archer. He's going to try to take a shot at this guy. And he's not going to make it. He has an activation of 3, so that's it. The orcs don't even get to go this time. We're back to the gang up, and we're going to do the same thing to try and take him out. Remember, he is tough as well, so we're going to order him, and with 2 successes, he's not going to attack. We are going to order him up, and you know what? Yeah, we'll roll 2. And we get 2 successes. He's going to run up, but we're not going to attack. We're going to do the same for him, and we get 1 success. That's all we needed. And then for our war chief, we get our 3 successes, so we can move to here. And I think it's just about all over. That war chief is going to be fighting at a +1 compared to our hero's 5. So orange gets a 1. This is why we roll the dice. This is why we play the game. Our war chief gets a 7 versus an 11. It's an even result. So that's a fall over. And he actually gets another chance. He's going to shoot. He can't shoot. Oh, I forgot. You can't shoot into combat. So first things first, let's go ahead and roll to see if our war chief stands up. And he does. And not only does he stand up, but he's got a couple of points left over. So he's going to try and take out the archer. And that means, well, see, he's still fighting at a -3. Man, there is no way he's going to win this. That's not going to help. He's at a 4. He's at a +1. He gets a 3. He is at a 4. That's a 10. That's a tripling. Not only is that that's reduced to a normal kill, but I think that's enough. I think that's enough. That's all we got. Now, technically, it's still his turn. He'll spend his 3 actions. Oop. And as we slide this in, we see that he gets 2 successes, and he ain't no dope. He's got to report back. So this archer is going to exercise the better part of valor by discreeting his way right off the battlefield. And that's the end of the game, which is a strong victory for the elves. So while their scouts gave up their lives to report their incursion, the elves, once rallied, were able to rise up as a sleeping giant and win the day. So that's A Song of Blades and Heroes. You can see we played a full skirmish in about 40 minutes. A little bit of back and forth. It looked like it was pretty handily won by the elves. They lost their cavalry early on, but those cavalry were able to slow things down enough for the quality of the elves to overcome the quantity of the goblins. Also, the goblins just weren't able to bring their numbers to bear in any real consolidated manner. And I think part of that was on me. I think that the goblins needed to spend less time attacking one-on-one and more time giving up activities and more time giving up activations in order to ensure that they weren't attacking until they had that 3-to-1 margin in their favor, which is in keeping with general wargame principles. And so that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed following along with this playthrough. I tried to adjust the camera a little more this time, so it wasn't quite such a static overhead shot where it was hard to see what was going on. As things tightened up, I hope you got a better view and a better feel for all of the tactical considerations that a guy has to make in this game. From not just from turn to turn, but from figure to figure. Who's going to activate first? How many dice are you going to roll? Dare you press your luck? All of these things play a critical role on both sides, and I felt like I did a pretty good job not favoring one side. Really, it all came down to the dice. It was line them up and smash at them. Next time, we'll try to put some other conditions in there. So it's not quite such a lineup. Maybe we'll do some kind of a treasure hunt or King of the Hill. I don't know. I don't know what we'll do, but I can guarantee whatever it is, it's going to involve pushing lead and a lot of dice. So until the next time, be good to each other, and may God bless you.